Zel boy army, what is going on? It's your boy Zelonius, my spicy friend Mr. Ainsley Harriet. We're full screen, we're big time. But listen, something important I want to share with you before we talk about today's video. Me, Ainsley, of course always Ainsley, Jambu and the Fifa analyst are setting up a Patreon. This Patreon is going to be dedicated to helping you guys improve massively at FIFA. It's going to be offering lots of gameplay tips, tactic advice, more specialised in-depth videos that will be dedicated just to the Patreon. We're giving you personalised team reviews, be able to get a follow back on Twitter from me, Jambu and the FIFA analyst, 24/7 access to us. The link will be in the description below the video, so please check it out. Please let me know what you think. Even if you don't want to support that or subscribe to it, that's completely fine. But there's lots of different packages that are tailored to different people. Please give me feedback in it. I'd like to know what you think. But it's something that going forward, I think it's a way you guys can support me and help my content, but also I can give back to you guys, and we can build a community where we help each other improve at the game. I think with me, Jambu, the FIFA analyst, we've got a full-time pro, coach, and analyst. We've got a team dedicated to helping you guys improve. I think we offer so much. I think it's a great package, and that I'd really appreciate if you guys wanted to join us on this journey. The Patreon is called Underdog Gaming. Really hope you like what we've got to offer there. Please give me feedback on it. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you if you've checked it out. And yeah, hope you enjoy today's video. Zelboy, here's the video. We're looking at the most important stats for each position, ranging from strikers all the way to keepers. I'm going to highlight what I think are the key stats across each position. I'll talk you through it, I'll explain it, and hopefully this will help you when it comes to building your team and looking at the type of players you want to build for your team. We'll start with the keeper, start from the back. I think you want someone who's at least 6'2". I find if keepers are under 6 foot, then the big issue you have when they're under 6 foot is that they just get beat by finesses very easily. I don't really ever see any keepers under 6'2" on the game anyway get used. But on previous FIFA, like I remember last year we had a flashback CS. He just got beat by finesses every single time. So 6'2", that's a good start. Because of the way chem styles work, you generally want well-rounded keepers because the basic chem stat puts +10 on every single stat anyway for keepers. But I think the most important keeping stat is reflexes. Reflexes just allow them to make some saves from point blank. Reflexes, I believe, is the more crazy save type stat. I don't think the positioning is as important as some of the others, because positioning you can do it yourself anyway. They could be positioned right and still mess up. Handling, I don't think it's as big a deal as it was at the start of the year. At the start of the year, if you had bad handling, everything was a rebound. I'd say reflexes and height are the two most important. Speed's always a plus, but not a big deal. Kicking is almost irrelevant. It's a plus, obviously, again though. So I'd go reflexes high, and then probably diving and handling are pretty similar, then positioning, then kicking. But a lot of the time it's just how keepers feel. Like Steger's probably the best keeper in the game, but he doesn't fit chem for David Luiz. Fullbacks. Weak foot is nice. One of the reasons that Mendy's so OP is because he's one of the few fullbacks with really good weak foot. I'd say fullback you need at least 3-star weak foot, because for the fullbacks you often want to play those killer through balls down the line. The killer through balls down the line can be done on a 3-star weak foot. 2-star they start to really get bad. 3-star's still a bit iffy, but anything from 3-star which could do those through balls is what the most vital probably for fullbacks. But anything 4 or 5-star is a luxury, but it's really nice to have because it allows you to spin, play yourself out of trouble, makes it a lot easier to play in possession with the fullback. The weak foot's not as big a deal for the fullback because you're not shooting with fullbacks pretty much ever. You can see Mendy in 120 games has 0 goals, Lala has 0 goals, so it's not too big a deal. It's just nice to have the weak foot. Skill moves almost irrelevant. 4-star's nice for an occasional scoop term, I don't really care. The main things I want from my fullback: pace. He needs to be at least mid 80s pace. Even if you've got a crap fullback, get one with mid-80s pace. With a chem style, you can make him really fast. You want at least mid to high 60s aggression and strength if possible. Strength and aggression, especially when you start playing against these team of the year attackers, it allows you to not just get bullied all the time. This Mendy is so good. One of the best value cards in the game because he's just got everything the fullback wants. So you want weak foot, at least 3-star. Height's almost irrelevant. I don't really care too much about height this year. But pace, strength and aggression is nice. Stamina is important. Stamina is a stat that's important for every position except for maybe centre back and keeper. But stamina is not vital, but you want at least 80. The dribbling, I'd like at least mid to high 70s on most of them, so I can spin and turn with the fullbacks. Mendy's not insane on the ball, but he's pretty good. And then when you add in the weak foot, he's very good on the ball. You want at least mid to high 70s passing, because if the player, I used Kappa, I think he's 82 early in the year, and he was brilliant at defending and won a lot of 50-50 because he's so strong and aggressive. But he let me down a bit because sometimes his passing just was a bit too low. So, pace, physical, decent dribbling passing, weak foot's nice. There you go, that's your fullbacks. The defending stat obviously as well, it's useful to have, but I used the Dharma earlier this year and found that he was still good. So I don't think you need to worry too much. I don't think you need to worry too much about the what's my train of thought? Too much about the defending stats on fullbacks. Sounds a bit crazy, but I don't think you do. Centre backs. One thing that's nice is not to have like a high medium with a medium high. You don't want massively contrasting work rate stats on your centre backs. I find sometimes that can cause a bit of a gap between the two. Ideally, I'd like to have two with the exact same work rate, but for my team, David Luiz is so good, and there's not many other medium centre backs. So I don't think it's too big as long as you don't have a massive difference between the two. Height's quite nice. I find the bigger centre backs just have a bigger hitbox for tackling and block more, which is really useful. It's not quite as big a deal as it was last FIFA. On last FIFA, the hitbox is really important, but 6'2" and above is quite nice. But you don't. Cannavaro's still really good in the game because you don't need the aerial threat. Heading's dead on the game. Weak foot, skill moves, pretty much irrelevant. It's nice to have 3-star plus to make it a bit easier to pass, but just be a bit more careful with the centre backs. I don't think it's too big a deal. Pace, I think sprint speed's more important on the game now. If you can switch to the centre back and get him going quicker, then as long as he has decent sprint speed, he'll catch most attackers. And Shadow gives basically 12.5 pace. That's one of the most key chem styles centre backs can use anyway. And Shadow fixes a lot of centre backs' pace. David Luiz has like 94 pace with Shadow, which is crazy. Shooting's irrelevant. Occasionally maybe from a corner, but it's pretty irrelevant. I don't care too much. David Luiz could have one on all his shooting stats, it wouldn't bother me. Passing, I like to have high 70s again to low 80s passing on my centre backs if possible. When the passing stats are as good as Luiz's, he can play pretty much any pass on one. It's just nice, it allows you to play out the back, which is really useful. The dribbling, it's not the be all and end all. I could use a centre back who wasn't that good on the ball. I think when you get to like a prime Sol Campbell level on the ball with bad passing as well, that's when I wouldn't go near a centre back. But if they have mid 60s on most of the dribbling, that's fine. Decent passing. Defending stats, obviously, it's really important to have high defending stats. They just do more stupid, crazy AI stuff. They block more. I feel the tackling hitbox is better. Headed accuracy doesn't matter though, I don't think. Occasionally is useful for where it aims the header. Headed accuracy makes a big difference where headers go when you pass it, but for shooting it's pretty much irrelevant. For winning headers it doesn't matter. Jumping doesn't matter too much. Strength and aggression though are vital. Strength allows you to bully players, and the aggression just means you win so many more 50-50s. So for your centre backs, strength, aggression, solid pace, passing, dribbling, and decent work rates, you've got a really good centre back. Most teams don't even use centre mid, so we're not even going to really look at that. We're going to look at CDMs. These are the CDMs I use. I don't want a CDM with higher attacking work rate than defensive. I'll make an exception for a Hullet or Zidane, but generally speaking, I want at least high defensive as I will attacking. Weak foot's nice. I'd like at least 4-star if possible. The only CDM that I've really used this year that I would recommend or I've seen that doesn't have 4-star weak foot's Kante or De Jong, but their team of the years are that insane. You can get away with it. I think Sissoko might have 3-star, to be fair. Actually, no, I might even be being stupid. I think Vieira and Sissoko might have 3-star. So Vieira might be 4-star. 3-star can be usable, but you just have to be more careful with it. Skill moves, 4-star's nice for scoop turns, but who cares? Height's quite nice for more interceptions. Shooting's a plus, but don't not pick a CDM just because he can't shoot that well. Generally, CDM's job is to recycle possession, win the ball back, get stuck in, be a nuisance. Pace is good. It's not the most vital stat again, but I think you need at least high 70s at a minimum pace on this game just so they can cover more ground. Low 80s passing at a minimum. Like, Bataglia is so good because he just covers all the key stats for a CDM. Low 90s short pass is so good because it just makes them so consistent. But at least low 80s passing so they play the safe, reliable passes consistently. As long as their dribbling is in the 70s across the board, it's pretty solid. Once you start to get to the 80s, though, you can dribble a lot better with these guys. They're not very clunky. Any defending around high 70s to low 80s makes them pretty solid. They're basically, you want similar stats to a centre-back, but just maybe a little bit quicker and a little bit better at passing, and shooting's a little bit more important. The strength aggression's important again, and stamina's important because they're going to be covering a lot of ground. Okay, for the cams, Lam, Ram, Cam, the main difference is, for a Lam or a Ram, pace is a bit more important, and weak foot's not quite as important, but 5-star weak foot's still really nice to have at an outside cam. But for the middle cam, weak foot's massive. Messi I make an exception because his card is that crazy. I like medium low or high medium. I think you want better attacking work rate than defensive. You need at least 4-star skill moves generally for the middle cam for the scoop turns. Someone like Butra can get away with it, but I don't like playing without 4-star skill moves if I can avoid it. But pace is more important at the outside cam. Like, I've used De Bruyne at middle cam. Obviously he's got some insane stats, but you don't need 90 on pace. It's always a benefit in the attacking position. For the attacking midfielders and strikers, you need 4-star weak foot. I wouldn't go near any attacker who does not have 4-star weak foot. Not having good weak foot is so bad in attack because it just makes you so predictable. It makes it so much easier to defend against you. Bad weak foot lets some really good players down, like Salah or Dybala, for example. So you need at least 4-star weak foot. 5-star weak foot makes players incredible in the game. R9 to 94 is the best card I've used this year, and I've used Messi and Mbappe's team of the year because R9 just has the ability to go on either foot consistently. But for your cam, you want high passing, dribbling, shooting and pace. Extra physical stats aren't a must, but they're very nice. Jumping heading's irrelevant. But you want someone with really good dribbling who can turn and make some crazy passes. I don't think the passing needs to be like in the 90s. Mid to high 80s for a cam will make him very consistent and reliable, which is all you really need. Shooting's massive. The cam's going to get a lot of chances to shoot. Long shots is probably more important for a middle cam than the outside cams. You want high finishing on all your attackers just to make them more consistent in the box. One of the best ways to score in the game now is to get it into the feet of a good dribbler, just on the edge of the box, inside the box, spin, have high finishing, put it in the net. There's not many consistent ways, but if you can dribble and make a little bit of opening with a good finisher in the box, that's a very good way of scoring. I don't know how important attacking position is, it's really hard to tell. But shot power finishing, long shots are really nice on a cam. High dribbling, so you can spin and make some good moves, especially since the new patch that's buff dribbling. I think is really useful. The strength and aggression are just a plus, but Neymar, Eusebio, they get away without having that high physicals. Eusebio's is pretty good to be fair, but you don't need the 80s for it. The outside cams, someone like where is he? Not Sanga. Pele's really good for the outside cam because he's rapid, can dribble, good shooting, good enough passing, decent physical. If you can get an outside cam who's quick with high 70s strength aggression, even bordering into the 80s, then the running fake shot is really strong. The strength and aggression do matter quite a lot for that, and that can really open up some new options. But yeah, not quite as high passing needed on the outside cams, but you need more pace, dribbling probably. For the striker, this is where you want the complete all-rounder. 5-star weak foot is massive if you can get it. It's one of the reasons that players like Saber R9 are just so common amongst pro teams. R9 for me is still the best player in the game because of that weak foot. Just makes him so unpredictable in the box. But Mbappe, TB, CR7, Messi, players like that can play up front at a really high level. Jambu, one of my best friends, uses Werner up front at the moment, the SBC, and he can still pin it with his 4-star weak. He's got 95 finishing on the SBC, and he still scores plenty of goals on that weak foot. So 4-star weak foot, if you've got high enough finishing, will do the job most of the time anyway. It's just that 5-star weak foot makes players so consistent. But for strikers, someone who's rapid, who when they get ahead of that centre-back can stay ahead, that'll get you so many extra goals. High finishing shot power is a must. Long shots isn't quite as important as the cam, because you're a bit further pushed up. It's obviously nice to have that long shot option. Passing, I think as long as it's in the 80s, because you're not going to be playing many crazy through balls with your strike, you just need to be able to link up. Mbappe, obviously, with those crazy stats is really nice. As high dribbling as possible is really useful. You want a striker who can spin, can dribble and create that chance. Being able to dribble in this game really makes a big difference on strikers. Like Harry Kane has some good striker stats, but his dribbling and pace is just not high enough, so he's unusable. Heading, near enough irrelevant. Strength and aggression matters quite a bit more for a striker than the cam. It's one of the reasons that CR7, R9 and Mbappe are so good, they're just so strong. If you can get a striker with 90 pace, 4-star weak foot, high 80s finishing, mid to high 80s dribbling, high 70s strength and aggression, and low 80s passing, there'll be plenty of strikers who can have that when they get the chem star. You'll be able to get a really good striker. You don't need a team the Mbappe to be able to have a good striker. Obviously, the top strikers are another level, but those are really important stats for them. One of the traits that can make a difference for strikers and cams is the finesse shot. But yeah, the general stats that you need to build a successful team. Pace across the board is very useful. Strength, aggression, stamina are always nice, because physical stats are just so important on FIFA. Players need to have mid to high 70s passing in general. The attacking players need to have 4-star weak foot, it's essential. Midfielders and defenders probably at least 3-star, but I wouldn't not use a player just because he doesn't have it, but it's pretty important. Those for me, it's a pretty comprehensive rundown of what I think the key stats are for each position. Hope you agree with me, boys. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this type of content. Let me know what you're thinking of it. I really appreciate you checking out my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Keep it spicy.